Just a lot of credit to Miami. You know, they've struggled here towards the end of the season, and they just came in and had a new fight about them, and thought they came in and just played a really good game.
Questions again? If you would just raise your hand, we'll get you a microphone, and please identify yourself before your question, and then designate whether the question's for the coach or the student athletes.
Yeah, Andrew Ennis, Packer Daily Progress. Joanne, Coach Meyer talked about how their plan was kind of run multiple people at Faith and SI. How do you think that had an effect on your offense and the way you guys weren't able to get into a flow?
Yeah, you know, this last month we've really had a flow to us, and that's what we talked about. We just were so disjointed, and we didn't just have a flow offensively. And where we've been really good is if we get stops, we get a little bit of transition, and we can kind of go back and forth between, you know, running and pushing the ball in transition, calling a couple quick hitters, running a couple sets. And I just felt like we got back to where we were a month ago. It was just like walk the ball down the floor, you know, miss a shot, just one pass, just a brokenness to us on the offensive end of the floor. And we weren't scoring, and then we spent the whole night in transition defense against a really, really athletic team.
Rob Cloud, DWHoops.com. Question for Joanne. This was kind of this season in general was sort of an almost season.
Yeah.
You know, you had a young team for the most part, and there are a lot of games where you were in close, and you're probably not going to get into NCAAs this year, but can you kind of reflect on the season in general. And have you and the team talked about a potential WNIT bid that if you would accept it?
Well, we will accept it, but it was more about, you know, with a young team, and we just try and focus on like what's at hand. And we, you know, midway through the season, we kind of gave them a realistic, you know, shot in the arm and said, this is what we're going to have to do to get there. And so we were very real with them. It wasn't any kind of hidden agenda. And so they knew what we had to do. And I was proud of how we approached all those games, in particular those last 4 games, and put ourselves in a position to have a great win against Louisville. And try to come in here with a clean slate and just continue that great basketball. But we definitely took a step backwards tonight. This is not the team that we've been, you know, these last 4 weeks. And so, yes, you know, everybody's back and we have great kids coming in and all that, but it's disappointing because, like you said, this is an almost team. And as coaches, you just want it for them. You know, you really do. You want it for them. And just, you know, to fall short, it's just a hard lesson, you know.
Right here in the front.
Doug Dowdy, the Roanoke Times. Joanne, Sarah played 22 minutes. You took her out after the second foul in the first half. Was there any reason the second half that she wasn't effective or that she'd play those kind of minutes? We
are just trying to find a rhythm, you know. Really, as the flow of the game goes, we were just trying to make substitutions accordingly. So I don't think there was a rhyme or reason. It was just, you know, that's the worst feeling as a coach, to be like, we'll try this, we'll try that, we'll try, you know, it's just, we were not in a flow. And so that just hurt us. So I don't think there was any particular reason why she was, you know, it was just 22 minutes.
Faith, you know, rare that you had this off of a day. Was it something that more they did, or you weren't hitting shots, couldn't get into that flow as you talked about with the offense? What do you think was maybe the reason for some struggles today?
I think it just goes back to the flow. I didn't feel like we had our rhythm at all throughout the game, and I thought we were just constantly trying to figure it out.
Kayla, there's been times when Faith and SI haven't been at their average. Sometimes you've been able to kind of take over and kind of shoulder load a little bit. How frustrating was it today to not be able to have that and maybe kind of fill in, when the other two weren't doing as well?
I mean, it was just upsetting knowing that we couldn't really get into a flow. We were constantly trying to find it. But Miami was playing good on us, playing good defense, and we were just fighting to find a flow, and it never really came to us. So,
Joanne, you're up 40-39, I think, with about 13 minutes left. What do you think happened at that point? I know that the next bucket for them was one of those three-pointers from the wing that they hadn't been hitting. They hit some down the stretch.
Yeah. You know, we went back and forth a little bit between the 2-3 and our man defense, and we kept helping up on the strong side, where we know our help side comes from the weak side. So we pulled ourselves off of that strong side guard twice, and they hit both of those threes. And it came out of the 2-3 because we were not sliding well in it at all. So I think that hurt us a little bit. And then that hurt us. And then we turned the ball over once or twice at the top of the key. They got a quick 2 or 4 points, I think it was, and then the momentum shifted.
Faith, just overall, kind of how frustrated is this, because you guys have been playing so well here the last 2-3 weeks, got a big win obviously on Sunday, to come in here and not have that same effort. Just how you can describe the level of frustration with you guys right now?
Yeah, I mean, like it was said, felt like we've had some like ups and downs throughout the season. We just really want to find that consistency.